noon here in Vancouver, British Columbia, and I am Piper because the podcast While You Wait starts at noon in Vancouver, British Columbia. Wherever you are in the world, I don't know, but it is recorded live, meaning that you can assist the show live. If you want to join us, well, please make sure that you turn on all of your notifications to your actual channel. Yeah, but it should be fine now. Should be fine. Yeah. I redid everything. I redid everything. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's get into this. So we did have some technical difficulties. This seems to be 2 and 2. Well, you know what they say, the third time is fine. So Chris Pankage just joined in. Yes, let me get you all ready. Let me electrify your life right now, because I'm Piper and this podcast is called While You Wait. While you wait to charge your EV, we bring you entertaining information. Now, the subject for this podcast is gonna be more scary than entertaining, quite frankly. We're gonna talk about smart cars and spying. Privacy, data, security, all of these things are going to be wrapped up into this amazing podcast. If you do have fears about your data, yes, going out in the world without your permission, this is the right podcast for you. Usually we do talk about things that are more related to electric vehicles, but since electric vehicles are mostly like smart cars because they're newer in the span of vehicles in general, that being said, well, electric vehicles are kind of like 10 to 15 years old within the newer ones. We're not talking about the ones from the beginning of the 1900s, which could go 2 kilometers far. We're talking about the newer ones. So all this software, all this technology, well, it's collecting data. Yeah. That means that your gas car, if you purchase it recently, has the same features probably as, well, some of the EVs out there or the hybrids out there. Yes, newer models, newer cars means more data. Oh, I know, you're scared. Me too. It's gonna be a fun show. Sound this?
Set the music, make me a something.
This is me?
Somewhere.
Yeah, I am hearing the hum. I think it's coming from...
This one.
Yeah, so it's coming from side microphone.
Okay,
Maybe we have a little bit of a... Ooh. If you do hear a hum, don't worry, people. So if I cut it, it's not there, but when it's there, so we can have some feedback on the line. Yeah, we're holding on. Okay, for now, I cut it. I'm going to put you a little bit of music. Invite your friends, your family, anybody who you know that thinks that safety and privacy is important. It's very easy to join. Click the arrow right underneath this video. It's a little arrow and it says share right next to it. You click it and then bam! You can share us on Facebook, X, or anywhere else that you wish to share us from. You can also grab that URL and put it via text messages. You can send it to a friend. Okay, let's try size microphone again. We still have a bit of interference. Okay. Oh yeah. This is all doing it live, people. That's why we have so exciting things. Carl says, may I invite Piper? Well, I'm already here. You don't need to invite me. And then, well, we have Chris Pankage who says you need to get you some ear monitors. They are game changers. I do have ear monitors. That's why I have these things. But we also have a whole team. The thing is, we just switch a few things in the studio. If you're not watching this, it's fine. If you're listening to it, well, please note that what is happening right now is that, well, we have the in-ears. Those are cans. Yeah, I do have in-ears for when I sing, but it's not very podcasty. The in-ear is kind of this is for really in-ear stuff. This is a podcast, meaning the full ear, well, there's a little bit of a difference. And well, Sai, who's over there and doesn't have a microphone for now, she's doing great. She's giving me thumbs up, meaning she's still alive and everything is rocking. It's gonna be okay, people. It's gonna be okay. How smart cars are spying on you. Do you believe smart cars are spying on you? Let's do a little poll while we try to fix our technical difficulties. Do you believe, or do you want to believe? Do you believe smart cars are spying on you? Let's go with yes, no. Here. So the poll has started. We want your opinion. Tell us. If you are there later on because you're listening to this podcast when it is not live anymore, well, thank you for listening to the playlist While You Wait. The podcasts are there forever and always. You can click on them whenever you feel like it or whenever, well, you're waiting for something to happen. Either charge your electric vehicle or for your wife to be done her shower, because that always takes a lot longer usually, doesn't it? If you just tuned in, well, I'm Piper and this is the podcast While You Wait. How smart cars are spying on you. Yes, I know. Now, there are many cars on the road right now, and all of these cars are not necessarily equipped with the latest technology. Maybe you do have one of these older cars. Are you one of these people that actually owns a, gas vehicle that is a lot older? I mean, maybe you have the radio, but that's pretty much it. Okay, we're going to do another sound check test for Cy. We're still getting some interference.
Can you unplug and replug?
Let's unplug and replug. I'm unplugging, replugging. It's like turn it on and off again. Nah, still a little bit. There's something. Maybe I'm just gonna, dB that. Like here. Okay? I can dB it a little bit less.
Need to find another cable.
Okay. So we're gonna need to find another cable, but that's gonna be for another day. I hope your ears are not bleeding right now. Sai, can you say hi?
Hello, people.
Wonderful. So we can hear Sai. It's all good. At least my wife does shower. That's a good point, Carl. That's a good point. We all want wives to shower, right, Sai?
Showering is good. Yeah, it's preferred.
It's preferred in
Yes.
general, especially in a spouse. Like I was saying, electric vehicles, there are some that are on the roads and all of that, but there's also, the gasoline vehicles that might be older, so that have less technology in them. How many vehicles do we have on the roads in North America, Sai? I'm pretty sure we have a lot, because North Americans do like their cars. I mean, things are spread apart here. Things are very far from one another. So we need to get from point A to point B, and most people do choose the actual vehicle and not public transport, trains, planes, automobiles that they do.
So in North America, there is currently 358 million vehicles on the road.
That's a lot. That's a lot of vehicles. So let's say that some of those, like we said, are a bit older vehicles and they don't yet have all of the software technology to them. But that being said, in a few years, they will. Because all new vehicles sold do have technology, or a lot more technology on them. Does that scare you? Well, you should be scared. Because this is how smart cars are spying on you. Now, let's get back to the poll. We have 100% of people that believe smart cars are spying on them. That's a lot. That's like a perfect number. That's like 100% of people believe that smart cars are actually spying on them. So you have the EVs, you have the gasoline cars, you have the hybrids. Your horse is definitely not spying on you. Outside, this is not possible, right?
I don't think that's possible.
Okay, good to know. And the pigeons, the pigeons are drones, so we're not going to go there. But that being said, if you do own an earlier model vehicle, so a vehicle that you believe is spying on you, now let's give everybody some space in the live comment section so that you tell us your vehicle. I know I have some people in there that I already know, but tell us, what is the make and model of your vehicle and how old it is, and do you believe that it's spying on you? Let's get to the facts here. Let's get to the point. I own a Tesla Model X 2016. Definitely there's some data collection there. Definitely a little bit of spying. I mean, and we'll dive a lot deeper into the spying. 1%, I don't know, is it 1%? 14% of people think that their car is not spying on them. Do you own a horse? This is what we need to talk about. Okay, well, great. Dave Frank is actually taking care of his psychology. Good, great. Chris Pankage says, you can drive a car designed in the 1920s, but if you have your cell phone on you, you're spied on anyway. That's good. That is good. But it won't spy your driving skills, unless maybe with the gyroscope, because phones do have gyroscopes in them, so they know how fast you're going. That's why this is not sponsored, but I use QuickBooks to track all of my actual, and that would have been like a great sponsor. It would have been like a great sponsor.
QuickBooks, call us.
QuickBooks, call me. Give me a call. Like, Check the email thing. The thing is, when I use QuickBooks, well, it knows when I'm driving. Why? Because I don't necessarily walk 50 miles per hour. This is not a thing I do. So my phone tracks when I'm in the car. And then I can, say it's personal or business, depending on the type of, expense or errand I went and ran. Ooh. This is Piper, and you are listening to While You Wait. To charge your electric vehicle. This podcast airs at 12 p.m. Vancouver time every day, and it's recorded live, meaning that you can assist to the show in a live format. Now, okay, we're talking like live format. We're not yet receiving guests and all that. We don't have the Jimmy Fallon setup, but we're working on it. So far, you can be there on YouTube with us in the live comment section to interact like right here, right now. So turn on your notifications. Make sure you subscribe to 2 Girls, 1 Electric Car. That way, anything new that we get out, you receive first. Yes, we want all of you to be the first people to look at everything we've got. Do you believe smart cars are spying on you? We have 78% who says yes and 22% who say no, because this is the subject of this podcast. Now, tell me your car, the make and model. We want to know your car, the make and model of your car. 77% of people think that their smart car actually does spy on them, which makes sense that we're having this discussion. Thank you for confirming that there was a real issue there. Yeah. Ooh. Can't wait to dive deeper into this. Maybe some of you who are not convinced, the 22%, you will change your mind at the end of this podcast. You'll be like, oh my god, I'm going back to like really old car. 1920s, right, Chris? 1920s. Smart cars. Why would smart cars be spying on you, and how can they spy on you? Okay, this is like the introduction, so let's get into it. Well, first things first, if you do own a smart car, it must be connected to the internet, right? Ooh, Piper, you get Wi-Fi in your car? So my Tesla Model X does have access to internet at all times for free forever because it's a 2016 model, and so I have free electricity and free internet on it. I don't know what Elon Musk does with my browser history on there, but that's what we're talking about. Privacy and security in smart cars. Now, everything that is in your car that can be deemed smart. That means internet, yes. Maybe you have an internet connection. Maybe with Starlink. Maybe you bought it from some other place. I have no idea. When I had my Chevy Volt, I actually bought the internet connection from, it was like I had like Sirius XM, and I have like this Star something, but it was not like Starlink, but I could have internet anywhere. Pretty much anywhere. I just need to pay. The fee was big. It was too much. But we're talking a way back. Now you also have satellites. Yes, satellites are, well, in my Apple Watch Ultra, there's actually satellite in there. Not only is there internet, because if I go in remote places, Sai, you have that on yours too. You go in remote, see, so if ever you get lost, you can like click that button, then the helicopter is gonna come and pick you up.
Yay.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Don't get lost. Perfect. Or we will find you. But the thing is, these satellites that are all over the earth, just like in the Frank Zappa song, they actually track you. So they track your move. Meaning that you have now internet, you have satellites. Now the satellites could be also used for GPS location. Again, it's to pinpoint where you are. If you have used GPS in the past, there's different types of GPSs. But there's one that was called Spot. Not like the Boston Dynamic dog, but like Spot. And this one, a lot of people who went on adventures or solo trips, they purchased that Spot because the Spot could allow anybody to find you anywhere, so they could track you in real time, a bit like Find My. And then you could hit the Spot like this. It's a button. You hit the button, and some rescue and safety team is going to come and save you if you're in a really, really tight spot. Now, you do need to pay for that, and sometimes you're going to just activate it for that trip or something like that. So that's a technology that is kind of sort of related to data and all of that. We have software updates. Now, for all of these newer model cars, they have all of this technology in them. They have all of this software. It's not just hardware. It's not just 4 tires and 4 doors. It's actually more than that. So they're going to need software updates. But how do you update? Sai, how do you update usually? Through the internet, right?
Internet, yeah.
You need to connect to the internet to update.
Yeah, internet makes the world go round.
Yeah, so it's not possible to actually, well, do a software update without the internet because it needs to get that new update, download it from the internet, from the cloud, from wherever it is stored at Apple, Tesla, or wherever, Mercedes. And then it grabs it, bam, and it uploads it kind of physically on your car. So then it stays there, which is awesome in a way. Then, well, we got applications. If your car is like mine, my Tesla Model X, well, my Tesla Model X is connected with an application. So I have all of the specs, all of the details of my actual vehicle on the app. So the app and the Tesla, they talk together. And some people who are really like energy crazy, they did say that don't leave your app open because the app connects to the Tesla, so that's taking some of the Tesla's battery. Like if you're really crazy about this, you need to close the app every time because when it connects, it's gonna kind of beacon the Tesla, so it activates something in it using the battery. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna drain your battery that much, but still that's a point that some people have been mentioning on the YouTube. Chris Pankot says 90% of car manufacturers use a USB stick at the dealer. What?
Yeah, I saw that they just put a USB stick in your car.
They put a USB stick in your car to update it? They probe your car?
They collect data.
So it's like probing.
I know, everyone's stealing data.
Wow. Okay, it's a good thing we have Sai, that is our researcher, on hand today. You can see her. If you can't see her, that's because you're listening to this podcast. It's great too. Don't worry about it. You're still going to be able to hear her voice throughout the podcast. The podcast is called While You Wait to Charge Your Electric Vehicle. We bring you information or misinformation that we debunk on the podcast. Share it with your friends. Share it with your, I don't know, guy that's charging next to you at the Tesla supercharger. Share it with your wife while she's in the shower. She can actually listen to us too. It's called While You Wait. So while you're waiting, you can just listen in. You're gonna get more, well, intelligent possibly from all this amazing data, and you're gonna get entertained. I don't promise anything, but this one might also get you paranoid. So be made aware. What Chris is saying is that manufacturers, when I guess you bring your car back for a checkup, oil change, whatever that might be, they're going to put a USB stick in it, probably retrieve this data. It's like probing your car. It's like probing your car. Oh my God, I didn't know this. I had no idea. So by probing your car, well, yes, they're getting this data. Now, some computers on some cars, there's computers that tell you, well, for maintenance, the tire usage and all these things. If you've been to Apple and you have, well, traded in one of your Apple devices, products, whatever, well, that's what they do. They kind of probe your phone to see like how's the battery and how's all the components inside. They can even know if your phone got wet. They can do that. It's crazy, just with software. So meaning, I don't know what this USB stick can do to your car, but this is a good think about it. Like really think about it. Now, there is also Howie who just dropped in. Hey, Howie. Thank you to everybody who's here. Howie says, I would imagine that if your modern car has built-in Wi-Fi, it has the point of track, your movement. Well, yeah, that makes sense. So meaning how smart cars are spying on you. If you do have Wi-Fi accessibility and it can ping like internet, well, it's going to know where you're at and how you're at. That's why we're talking about the Tesla app right now. And Chris Pankage also adds, other manufacturers outsource car components, which all have their own code, making it almost impossible for over-the-air updates. Sad, but a true fact. Okay, so that means that, like my Tesla, it updates itself because it has the Wi-Fi and all that. So it just need to approve the update because the update usually takes close to an hour and you can't drive your car while it's updating for some reason. But then again, what Chris is saying is that some other car manufacturers, if we're not going Tesla, if we're going other vehicles, well, they have this problem where you would need to go update it to the dealer, or maybe they send you a USB key. I mean, what year are we? 2010? This is so weird. You should not be able to do that. Now, RA says, hey Piper, how do you spell your new researcher's name? Well, you can spell your name.
SAI.
Sai, super easy. Okay, thank you, Sai.
You're welcome.
And, well, we have the application. That means we also have GPS, like we talked about. So if you do enable GPS, well, that means that the GPS is going to know where you're going, where you are, and how to get you there. And by the GPS being on, well, it would definitely have a history of where you went and when you went there. So all of this data is being collected. What other data is being collected? This one's a fun one. Entertainment data. Yes, in your vehicle entertainment. Now with AirPlay and all of these other devices, or Google Play, I don't know what you have in your car. Even maybe your car, like the Tesla, has some video games. You can do karaoke in there. There's a whole bunch of things that are on there. Meaning that all of this like screen and everything it does, all of the entertainment feature, well, they can see what you've been looking at, a bit like a web browser. I mean, plus the Tesla has a web browser because it has internet. Now, mine has internet included. I think the newer models don't have internet included, but you can purchase it, meaning that it knows everything, and that information is not necessarily going to the provider of the internet. It might be going to Tesla and all of these other parties. So we will talk about that. Now, let's dive right in to what type of privacy, security concerns we're going to be talking about. We will be talking about data collection and storage, location tracking, data sharing with third parties, hacking possibilities, and, well, lack of consent and control. On the user part, of course, this is all about user part. Okay, that being said, have you seen a Google car recently? Have you seen a Google car recently? I mean, Google cars were everywhere, mapping for Google Street View, Google Maps, and all of these things. I've seen a few Google cars in my lifetime. I mean, you've probably seen a few Google cars in your lifetime. But with all of these features that our new cars have, will Google car be kind of like not useful, obsolete? Because quite frankly, your car could just kind of map the whole entire world without needing for Google to pay for Google car. Of course, the Google car, well, is owned by Google, so Google does whatever they want with that information, that data. But if we all were there, it would make so that Google car didn't need to do it anymore. If all of these cars can go like on a grid, all talk to each other, and then map everything in real time, imagine where the world would be. I don't want to think about it, so let's move on to the other subject. First thing we're going to talk about is data collection and storage. Of course, this is a bit the same for any new device that you're going to purchase. Data collection and storage, we're going to dive into it in a very over the surface way, okay? Over the surface way. So, Sai, what do you think about data collection and storage?
It's tricky because sometimes it's necessary to provide the correct service. But how is it going to be used? Who's going to be privy to that information and all that data?
Okay, this is an interesting point. If you do have the same point as Sai, well, make sure that you drop in the live comment section how smart cars are spying on you with data collection and storage. I'm Piper, and this podcast is called While You Wait. To charge your electric vehicle, you listen to us from wherever you need to or wherever you have to. You click on the actual podcast playlist that is located on our YouTube channel. 2 girls, 1 electric car. Super easy to find. Chris Pankich totally agrees with you, Sai.
Good.
Wonderful. We are getting this rolling. We're getting this rolling. Now, what type of data is being collected? If you're driving a car, it's a bit different than a toilet seat. I mean, a toilet seat is going to collect completely different data than a car. Your smartphone is going to collect completely different data than your car. Now, some of this data can be same but different, but other ones is just completely not collectible. Hello, Max. Thank you for dropping in. That being said, driving behavior would be some sort of data that your car would definitely collect. So how are you braking? Are you braking fast, slow? How do you drive? Do you go over speed limit? Like most cars nowadays, like we said, they're equipped with a GPS and they actually know how fast it goes.
And
yes.
People know when your brake's going to be done because they're studying you. Like they're going to predict when your brake's going to need to be changed.
Yeah.
Your behavior.
Exactly. So we have that in there as well. Now, the driving behavior means a lot of things. It means, well, of course, like anything related to how you drive. But it also means the routes you're taking, meaning in a more GPS way, well, where are you going? When are you going there? And how are you going there? Are you choosing to go via the scenic route? Are you more of a highway person? Then are you stopping often? Maybe if you stop more, it's because you have kids. If you don't stop, well, maybe it's because you like to get there fast. We have Max Power who says, why do they need the data? That's a good question, actually, Max Power. Well, the thing is, why would you not need data? Yeah, I know, we're not doing reverse psychology, but this data is very valuable. I mean, data is a currency. Data is money. And we will dive right into this very soon. So stay tuned. We're getting there. We're getting to why do they need data and why it can be an issue for privacy and why your smart car is actually spying on you. Super easy. Occupants' personal traits, meaning that, well, your car actually knows who's sitting where. If you have someone on the passenger seat, it knows it, and then it activates a sort of signal to tell the passenger to buckle up because of the airbags and all of these other things. So newer vehicles have all of these really smart implemented features, well, for your car to be more secure. But at the same time, I mean, if like you decide to put your very heavy bag on the passenger seat, on one of the passenger seats while you're also a passenger, well, maybe the car's going to think it's another passenger, but it's in the bag.
Exactly.
And then it's going to ask you like, oh, okay, you need to buckle up.
That's true, and that'll be super annoying.
That will be annoying. But then what if, you decide that you want more heat on your side of the car? So then you add some heat, but I don't. So it will know that you as a passenger want more heat. So you may be like a more like, I don't know, you're more cold in general as a person.
It's true.
So
so that is why I think data collection is important to know more what your needs are as a consumer and for them to give you a better service. That was the whole point of data collection in the first place. That should be why it's collected, but is it?
Oh, and that's why we're talking about how smart cars are spying on you. So is it used just for that? Because a personalized experience in your vehicle is definitely what everybody wants. You want to be able to adjust the seat. You want to be able to electrify your ride. You want to be able to put the music on how loud you want it. You want to have all of these little things in your car so that when you get in, if it knows that you are the driver, well, it just adjusts everything to your liking. And that is a great feature, but all this data, where does it go? Like, it's there. It's there in your car. So this data is collected, meaning your car knows how many drivers there are. Even for my Tesla Model X, well, I'm a driver in it, so I have driving features. That means that when I come into it, I click on my person, bloop, and then the seat adjusts and the mirror adjusts. And all of this adjusts for me. But they have this data. Are they sending it somewhere else? We don't know. Carl says, I cannot get the Mazda to remember my seat setting. Well, yeah, this depends on the model of your car. Definitely. And what?
They know that, the comment before, buckle up for safety in the US, don't speed over the limit because they will know that you're over the limit.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. If your driving behaviors are so, well, they know. I mean, they're collecting this data. This data is there. Then what they're doing with it, we'll get into that. But that being said, if you go over limit, well, it knows it because it knows that you're in this, zone that is not, like, okay, let's say you're in a school zone, which I hear is 50 kilometers, sometimes 30 kilometers per hour. And they find out that you're going 70 kilometers per hour. Well, it's still, the data is there. Well, will they do something with it? This is very, very interesting. Okay, let's get on to it. So, yes. Yeah. Okay, give me a moment. I'm going to put some music. We have Electric Brian who says the data could be used to help you if you are involved in a crash to prove you weren't in violation of any law.
But it goes on the other way too. They could just be used so you are without accident.
Exactly. So it could be used Electric Brian has a really good point. This data could be used to prove that you were not violating the law and that the other driver was. But in that same sense, if we allow this data to be shared in court or with the police or things like that, well, that data could be taken to incriminate you. But again, this is the truth. This is the real data. Whereas we might not want to go to the Chinese way and all that, but it would be the truth. I mean, if you film it, usually it's true in that sense. Chris Pankage says, buzz might be a light on the same power supply as the mic's phantom power on Psy. Buzz might be a light on the same power supply as the mic. Do we have a light on the same power supply?
It's the cable.
It's the cable, because we're doing like a... So we got cable extension. We're doing 2 cables.
Yeah, we need...
And we bought those off of Amazon, so... Plus it's cheap cables.
We have a Patreon back.
We have a Patreon. Go support us on Patreon so Sai can have better sound.
Please.
The Patreon is patreon.com/2girls1electric-car. So go support us
and
there.
one cable. We need.
We want cable.
Yeah, we want cable.
We want cables. We want cables. This is very easy to please. Goldmaker 89. Okay, watching Dateline last night, man was accused of crime because Google data proved he was at the woman's house when she was unalived. That's a good word. Okay, so Google was able to prove that this person was at that other person's house and she was not
This guy
breathing.
knows not what to say into the
Yeah,
comments
he
so
does.
doesn't bad. This guy knows how to write comments. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats. This is good. This is He's good. Okay. Police car comes check speed. Yes, but will that be necessary if your car already knows it? Wreck your car, there will be data you never knew about. Well, there is more and more data in your car, and all this data is being stored. So if you are involved in an accident, well, quite frankly, they could just kind of go in the history of your car and take that data to either accuse or, well, not accuse you, depending on if you were like the bad person in that situation. I mean, it really depends on what you did. Okay, never give your credit card number in any computers. They will steal your money. Well, computers are not there yet, but humans will do it. I mean, humans will do it.
That's true. We don't need computers for that.
I mean, it's more the human behind the computer that steals your money. AIs are not stealing money right now. AIs are not. AIs cannot buy our Patreon. No, they're not. They're not yet. That like, not yet.
Hey, Terminator, call us.
Hey, Terminator, what are you up to right now? How smart cars are spying on you. Yes, they are, and that's what we're talking about on the podcast While You Wait. With Piper and...
Sai.
Oh, yes. Okay. So we have all of these possibilities of data collection and storage, meaning all of your driving behavior, the routes you've taken, your personal preferences. So everything that you adjust in your car can be saved, meaning it might be stored in your car, and that what happens to it, well, who sees it? Who has access to it? Let's go into our second subject, which is location tracking, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into all of this amazing technology that allows for all of this data collection. Because for there to be data collection, you need to grab this data. If you're blind, you're mute, you're gonna have less data. but if you do have all of these sensory, olfactory, all of these things on you, you will be able to process more data. Now, that being said, what is the data that newer cars actually process, and how do they process them? So newer cars often have sensors. Yes, you know when it goes beep, 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 that parking sensor telling you your bumper is just kind of too close to the wall. So sensor is one of them. Then there's also some cameras. If you're talking about a Tesla newer model that has full self-drive, well, it drives itself, so it has a whole bunch of cameras that allows it to map and see what is around it. So you have sensors, you have cameras, then other cars might have radars. Yeah, I know, like bats. We've seen like something like that in the Abu Dhabi car race, autonomous car race. They had radars and lidars. Now, lidars have been proven so far from Elon Musk is saying, what he's saying, that is not very not fast enough. That might be why we still have sensors and cameras on cars. And if you have this newer model Tesla, you can actually activate the side cameras while you're driving. So on my Model 16, you can activate the back camera while you're driving. So you always have this kind of mirror on your screen. Some mirrors even have, and I saw this, I think it was in the Polestar. Oh, maybe not the Polestar, one of the newer models. So the mirror was the back camera. Kind of like that. So the mirror is like a screen and the camera is tied to it. Both these things. So we have Electric Brian who says data can be used to get potholes fixed faster.
That's true.
Well, that's a good one.
They can send it to the city, like fix that.
Exactly. If they can send the data to the city, fix the potholes so we keep our rims, please.
Yes, that's nice. Share your data now.
Insurance companies can use the data to lower, or more likely, raise your insurance. Well, because they do say that insurance policies, if you've never been in accidents and never been involved in anything, and if you're respecting some other types of kilometer thresholds in Canada, well, your insurance is lowered. Well, so it can be a good incentive for people to drive better. Now, we have Awi who says, if a friend or a loved one goes missing in their car, we would be thankful for our cars keeping track on them. Yes, just like my Tesla Model X and its app, I can know where my Tesla is at any time, any given time. A bit like if you have an iPhone or an iPad or anything like that, you can activate Find My. This is very useful when you forget your phone somewhere, but it's also very useful if you get kidnapped. Both things. Or to spy on your kids. I mean, some people just like that too. Yes, data cameras. Okay, so we're talking about location tracking. So how would a car know where you are located? It can use GPS data because of internet or either satellite. It has sensors because it has to know where it is. You might have had that on your gas vehicles. That's been around for a long time. There's a little light that flashes when your blind spot, there's somebody in it. And that happens in your mirror, left and right mirror. So there's just a little light that flashes, but it needs to know something is there. So there's definitely a sensor somewhere on your car that triggers this light or this audible sound. Then we have things that are a bit more crazy. Are you ready for this? You sure ready for this? So things like voice recording. Well, some cars you can talk to and you can put your phones into them with CarPlay and all that. So maybe they're recording your voice. Imagine that. Sai, how would you feel about that?
I don't know if I'll feel good about that. I'll always have to be constantly aware what I'm saying in the car if someone's listening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because this could be recorded and then, I don't know, used somewhere else.
I know, that's a scary thought.
It is a scary thought, but voice recording is something that is possible. Even some cars, I think you can talk to. You can ask them to do things for you, a bit like you can ask Siri or you can ask Alexa. So all of this voice data, your voice, and what you're saying to the person or the people in your car, or even when you're crazy singing, because Tay-Tay's song is just like on air right now, but this can all be recorded. Again, it's not that bad if you're just singing Tay-Tay, but maybe it's going to be worse if you're like plotting your next birthday party or something like that. And of course, there are cameras on the outside of the car for it to be able to drive itself, for it to be able to see lines and things like that. But there's also cameras in cars now. What, Piper? We put 90 cams in cameras? I'm Piper, and this is how smart cars are spying on you with indoor cameras. Why is there an indoor camera in your actual vehicle? Well, because they've been implementing things like full self-driving, especially the Tesla, they want to make sure that you are not abusing or using this technology in a way that could, endanger you or the safety of others around you. That's why they put that there. So there's a camera that sees you while you're driving or not driving. And I don't know what they do with this data. Maybe they store it and they're not using it yet, but it is being collected. And if you go full overboard with this and you start, I don't know, looking drunk maybe while you're not driving because you're in full self-drive mode, maybe they can use that. I mean, you're not supposed to do that anyways. And the way you are in your car, that depends. That depends on what can happen with this data. But still, I mean, cool voice recording cars. That's true. Cell phone has location. Yes, cell phone has location indeed. We are in the live comment section on YouTube. This podcast is called While You Wait for your EV to charge. I'm Piper, and I am with
Cy.
Cy is in charge of all the research and everything that goes into it. Now, Cy, do you have some crazy info about, I guess, location tracking and things like that you want to add on?
There is some information. It's not exactly related to that, but they track your location for different purposes. It's to see exactly. It's for your safety, of course. That's what it is. But again, advertisers.
Oh,
So they can advertise to you better, I'm guessing, and for risk assessment as well, for insurance companies and things like that.
okay.
But I read that they're not allowed to share data with third parties, so I don't know what's going on. I'm getting two different kinds of information.
Oh, if you have more information, make sure that you drop a live comment. That way we can really, really, really get into this. Now, so we have like these data, all this data. It's there, it's in the car, it's coming from radars, cameras, sensors, and then, well, they need to use it. They're saying they're using it for your safety, and it's true. If you activate full FSD, so full self-driving capabilities in your car, well, this is for your security. This is for the car to brake so you don't get into an accident. But since they already have the data, I mean, what are they be doing with it? Yes, they can surveil you. They can know where you are when you are. If I can know where my Tesla is at all time, that means somebody else can know. Oh, yeah, we're going there. And then advertisers could use it, well, to sell you products. If you're always going on that route, they could sell you something that is related to going on that route. They can geolocalization you, just like, well, Waze does a little bit. Waze actually has like ads on the app to tell you, oh, you feel like a Starbucks coffee because you are near a Starbucks coffee, or what's the price of gas right now, or things like that, which don't matter to me because I drive EV, but I mean, still, it's interesting. And then what about law enforcement? What if, like some people already mentioned in the live comment section, what if you get into an accident and your car really has all of this data? Then can it be used to either, well, put you behind bars or make sure that you don't go behind bars? So which car manufacturer will maybe give access to this data to law enforcement? Ooh.
Who did this?
Who did it?
Who did it?
Who did it?
Who did it?
Who did it? This is where we're going. I mean, this is quite interesting.
Too bad Apple don't have a car.
Yeah, too bad Apple doesn't have a car anymore, because Apple has been very good on privacy and security so far and has never opened their messages, text messages, to any law enforcement. That's been a thing. With Apple, but I don't know for these other cars dealerships and all of that. They will need to make a choice at one point if they will open or not, and maybe we will choose cars that decide to keep privacy private, or we'll choose cars that decide to open up.
Comments.
Yes, okay. Yes, comments. Chris is saying, in an accident with a Tesla, you can hand over the hard drive or USB stick to law enforcement as evidence at the scene.
Are you obliged to?
I don't know. Are you obliged to? Carl is saying law enforcement has access already. But how can they have access already, Carl? This is an interesting topic.
Do we have to have like a warrant or something?
Yeah, I thought maybe they had to have a warrant. I mean, of course, your car can be, I guess, how would you say, like, your car could be an accessory?
Accessory to, the crime, whatever crime.
So then it could be kind of seized, right?
Yeah, if it's an accessory crime, then the law enforcement, I can't talk, has the right to, I think they are within their rights to get all the
seize it, to
information.
check it out.
Yeah, to completely check it out. And they do that all the time. Even before the smart cars, they check if they have a reason, they can seize your car and like go through it.
So now if you seize the car, you're not just seizing the car, you're actually seizing all of the data in the car.
The car, like, give up.
Yeah, the car's gonna give you up. The car's gonna give you up. The car is definitely gonna give you up. Never gonna give you up. This is what happened to you. So make sure you and your car, you have a good bond. You and your car, okay. Chris says you can give it free will. Am I being detained or am I free to go? Or depending on the severity of the incident or accident, they can seize it as evidence. You were right on spot, Sai.
Yeah.
You were a great researcher. Okay, awesome. Now, Carl says the code is available. They can find your vehicle. Also, repo trucks have it too. What is a repo truck? Like, what's a repo truck? You have been rickrolled. Yes, you all have been rickrolled. Share this video with a friend right now so they can be rickrolled too. But this podcast is 1 hour and a half and it starts at noon in Vancouver, British Columbia. Now that you've got a little bit of rickroll in you, it's time to make another meme. Boom. Location tracking also could serve as a identity theft, meaning that all of this tracking that is happening, well, somebody could steal that tracking and pass for you. Steal all this data and will make something bad out of it. Of course, if there's a good way, a secure way, and it's better for you, there's always a dark side. There's always a possibility that this data will be misused. Now you know. Okay, Carl adds that a repo means repossession for lack of car payment. Oh, okay, I like this a lot. Meaning that, well, when I actually purchased my used Tesla Model X, it's a used one, meaning that it had one previous owner. Now, not 5, just one previous owner. But the thing is, when I went into the history of the Tesla, Sai, you want to know what happened?
I really, really do.
Okay, so when I went to the history of the Tesla, I saw all of the places he went to. That person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so all of like the GPS coordinates where they charge and where they went, like all the, I guess the A to B, like all the routes, all of these like trips, they're still in the Tesla. So I had access to all of them.
So they didn't delete it? They didn't reboot it or anything?
No, they didn't.
Whoa, I thought they had to. They weren't bound.
Well, I don't know if how are the laws about repossession, like Carl says, but I had access to where this person went. And so my Tesla Model X is actually from Alberta. It was moved here to Vancouver, and I bought it here in Vancouver. But all of these places, you always go to the same grocery store, sorta, kinda. So I could really see this person's movement in their car. This data is still in the car. Now, I don't know if as a Tesla owner, you can like delete it. It's just like, beep, reset. Just like you can on a iPhone. Yeah, you can like reset everything, erase all data, and then you trade it in or you give it to somebody, and it has none of your data. Maybe it's stored somewhere that I don't know how it works. But the thing is, on my Tesla, the data was still there. Of course, I had the app and I could reset everything and all that. That was fine. I gave it its own name, and so it was not connected to this other owner, but still all of the trips they ever taken were still on there. So come talk to me in the live comment section. Yes, I'm Piper and we are with
Sai.
Yes, Sai is our researcher, on-hands researcher. Piper, you saw every strip joint your Tesla was parked at. Yes, I did. Unfortunately, I did not know any Alberta ones, so it was just too bad.
We could have blackmailed
the dude. Yeah. Yeah, we could have. We didn't know it, but now you know. It's never too late. Did you buy it from Tesla or a third party? That's what Chris asks. Actually, I did not buy it from Tesla. I bought it from a third party.
Probably Tesla would have
wiped it. That would have been way better, right, Side?
Yeah. I think Tesla would definitely wipe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're all for Tesla here. If you hadn't noticed yet. I'm Piper, and this podcast is called While You Wait, because while you wait for your electric vehicle to charge, yes, it doesn't take 10 minutes yet, meaning you have an hour and a half of easy listen podcast with Piper and Sai that you can listen to wherever, whenever. You can click on that podcast playlist, which is located on our YouTube channel, 2 Girls, 1 Electric Car. Make sure you keep it in your bookmarks, on your browser, your phone, or wherever you'd like to keep your bookmarks at. That's why it wasn't wiped out. So Chris is saying that usually at Tesla, they will wipe it all out for you, which makes a lot of sense. This is way better. Okay.
That's an interesting point, is Howie brings up in the comments.
Oh, you want to read it?
Yeah, so it says, if the previous owner of your car committed a crime, they can repo your car as a witness to the crime.
Whoa, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
That's good, eh?
Wow, so they could repo your car. Yeah. Okay, so me
As a witness.
as a witness, so your car, because your car is now really like a witness. Your car has all of this data. Your car sees more than you. Like with FSD, with full self-drive, your car has more information that you could ever recall. I mean, yeah, Denis Villeneuve, if you want an idea for your next movie, forget Dune 3. Call me. I have something for you. All right, we've talked already about 2 subjects. We're going to talk now about data sharing with third parties. Because all of this data, well, again, if it's with cops, you kind of have no choice. But cops would fall into the category of a third party. So there's you and your car. And then there's, well, the car manufacturer. So they're included in that deal. But then you have, well, these third parties. Meaning that you're definitely sharing this information with Tesla. Meaning I'm sharing this information with Tesla because I decided to purchase a Tesla. Sai, you did say something real interesting about this earlier. And you want to re-mention it? You said something about how if you want something, you have to kind of opt in.
Yeah, so when you're like really, really wanting something like a phone or a tablet or a car in this case, you want it, right? So even if the agreement is a privacy policy that you sign or whatever contract, even if there's no way to opt out, that you're whatever you're signing, there's no option. You can opt in or opt out. But if you want that, you have to say I opt in or whatever that document is saying. What are the chances you're gonna be like, no, not gonna buy that car?
Exactly. So the pain versus gain is higher because you want that product. So you're gonna be more willing to sell your soul away.
Exactly, because people don't see it. People don't think about what they're signing away because we've already signed away almost everything at this point, I'm guessing. So yeah, so they're like, whatever, it's just paper. I want that car.
So you're being wooed into it.
I mean, they know if you want that car, you're gonna sign whatever paper they give you. There's not that many people that are gonna like, no, not gonna go for my dream car because I can't like say no to whatever there is written in this piece of paper.
The terms and condition, privacy,
yeah, you're
data.
just gonna sign it and just drive in your car like you're
Without
thinking about it and
knowing.
you're not even give it a second thought, right?
When there's actually somebody spying on you,
Just like marriage.
Just like marriage. It's just like you sign a contract. This is like marriage. Just like marriage. How
want
smart
that
cars
model?
are spying on you. Yeah, you want that model.
You sign it.
You sign. No prenup. No prenup. No prenup. Meaning that all of this data, well, once you buy the car, it's there. So you might not be thinking about this, but this is something to think about now, right now, when I'm talking about this right now to you. Which car manufacturer are you with? How are they using your data? I mean, Facebook has gone to the Senate for this, but car manufacturers are starting to implement more and more data collection, more safety features, more advanced software, more AIs, and all of this could bring more liability, well, to you and these companies, of course. But like Sai just said, if you want the car, if this, I don't know, this McLaren is your dream car, well, you're gonna say like, yeah, okay, I'm signing off my soul, but I want the McLaren. Anyway, when you sign your soul to the devil, do you really read the contract? No, you don't. It's the devil. What do you expect? Nothing good is gonna happen. Okay. Nothing down from Lekba come from, boy. It's not gonna happen. Meaning that, okay, this data can be shared with third parties in the good way. So we're gonna go angel first, and then we'll go angel, devil, angel, devil, angel, devil. Meaning, well, if all of our cars did share data, we could go into a traffic less or less traffic type of situation in cities because, well, all of this traffic data would be shared. So they could change the lights depending. I mean, it could all be AI organized. Yeah, that would be so cool. Now, you could have a more personalized service if you share the data that you have on your car with the mechanic, because maybe you're on a road trip and there's no, let's say, Tesla near there. So you go in another place and you can actually just, again, the mechanics can just plug into your car, have access to this data, and they don't need for you to go to that other service place. Also, that would make it easier for maintenance. And when we're talking maintenance, yes, we're talking anything related to the usage of your car. So if all of this data is shared with the company, especially with your car company, well, it's going to tell you, you know what, your brakes are they're not going well, or your pressure tire's not going well. So make sure that you go and like fix that right here, right now. Just like my Tesla Model X in app, it tells me everything I need to know. It tells me when I need to service it. It tells me how hot it is in the car. It tells me like everything.
Are you going to be a criminal if you're in an accident and you forgot to pump your tire?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good point. Okay, so are you gonna be deemed a criminal if you're in an accident and let's say your car told you 2 days ago to go put some air pressure in your tires, you didn't, then maybe one of your tires exploded and you were involved in an accident and that will and that killed somebody, let's say, let's go to the worst case scenario. Well, are you gonna be a criminal because that was like negligence? Because your car told you. It's not like it didn't tell you. It was in the dashboard. You received a notification from the app.
2 weeks it's there. You saw
Exactly. So you saw it and you did not do anything about it. So that is negligence. That's really like negligence, and that you can go to jail for negligence in general.
But I don't know if that would qualify because it's your car telling you something is not legally. You're not legally bound to follow that in this case.
Yes,
you know?
not yet.
Yeah, so if they put like, oh, whatever your car tells you to do, it's illegal, now it's a legal thing, now you have to do it, otherwise you're committing an illegal act, then it would have to be made clear. If it's not, then
It's
you're not,
not
it's the
yet
same
like
thing.
that.
Yeah, it's the same thing as your mom telling you to do something, you don't do it, and you end up, because of that, you end up committing a crime, and your mom is like, I told you to do, you can't be held responsible.
For something that is not yet illegal.
Yeah,
But it
exactly.
could become illegal.
If you have a good lawyer, you can sue your mom.
Yeah, if you have a good lawyer, you can sue your mom. Definitely. But in that sense, it could be deemed illegal. It could be deemed negligence later. That could be like
If
added.
they pass that law,
Yes.
it has to be made clear. But if you did it before such a law, I don't think you can be legally
I
held
think if you
responsible.
got a good lawyer,
If you got a good lawyer, you're gonna be
Yeah,
fine.
it can definitely create trouble. People can sue you and things like
Yes.
that. Yeah, for sure. But it's not illegal in, like,
Not
in the
yet.
sense of black and white.
Not
yeah.
yet. But
but your car told.
yeah, but okay, so we just
For
need
2 weeks.
we need a précédent. So that's how it's called in law. We need a précédent. You need a patient zero. So if it happens, which it will because cars have data now, so if that happens, there's a possibility that the court will go in favor of that argument, meaning you had all the information, you did not do it, and then this led to this accident. So now we're going to impose new laws in this law system to make sure that people who receive this information, these data, well, if they don't do something about it, it is deemed negligence, which it is not right now, not to my knowledge in Canada, but it could go there. So we could add on more special laws and things like that. Howie says, yes?
Wait, I think I would take the case.
You would take the case?
Yeah, because, it's been 2 weeks. Your car tells you to do it.
I know, I totally agree. I totally agree.
You kill someone,
Yes.
it's your responsibility.
Yeah, it would be your responsibility. I agree. I would definitely take that case. I would definitely be more on the side of negligence on that case because you had this knowledge. It's always about you having the knowledge or not having it. Now, some things you don't know, but there's no way you didn't know.
It's like
There's no way
letting
you didn't
your
know.
friend drive your car after a night of drinking and you let them drive their car. And you were at the party.
Yes,
and they hadn't-
there's also you can also be kind of responsible for that. Yes. So if your friend is at a party, you two are at a party. Woohoo, party. Let's put some party music. Yeah, party. Woohoo. Crazy party going on. Now you drink a little bit too much and you know your friend is very, very drunk. Now you take a Uber home, but your friend takes their car home and you know they're drunk and you told them not to take their car, but still they took their car. Well, you could be in this situation where because you knew, you could be like an accomplice to this. Well, but this is another name. It's not accomplice. I don't have it because I'm francophone. But this is really bad, especially if you leave them. If you let them go away from your house, that's even worse because you knew that they were impaired and you'd still let them go. And so you could have some restrictions on you for them.
Your friend told you, it's okay, I got FSD. So
But your friend told you, it's okay, I got FSD, so
if you let
I'm
them
good.
drive and you pray.
You pray. Yeah, let's just all do that, right? It's gonna be way easier. Aoi says, so if you own an EV, do you have less responsibilities in the upkeep than on an older ICE car? That's a good point. Meaning that if you do have an EV, or a newer car, let's not even go just EV, let's go a bit wider on this subject. If you have a newer vehicle, then you have all of this data. So yes, you should be more responsible. You have the data. The car's giving you the data. Now, if you have an older vehicle, you don't have that data, so you don't know. It doesn't mean that you're not supposed to check your tires and you should kind of feel if you have a flat or something. But in that sense, yes, with data, with more knowledge comes more responsibility. And it's proof. Unfortunately, you have this good data, that means you can change something, but it also can serve as proof to incriminate you in that sense. So that being said, you choose whatever you want to do with this information. Okay, so why is data sharing with third party a thing? Max Power did talk about this earlier, so we're going to get back into it. The thing is, data is valuable. Data is very valuable. If you are not paying for something, it's because you are the product. Meaning that they are sharing your data with other people to make money. Just like Facebook. If you're not the service, you're the product. So that being said, I mean, Sai, we talked about this a little bit, about the ads. So they will just take that data and then sell you things.
Exactly. So the advertisers always come in because everyone wants money. So these companies, Tesla, whoever, any smart car company maker, it's a great opportunity. Sell your data, make more money. Yeah. So of course that's definitely going to happen if it's not happening already.
So we need to know who they sell it to and how they sell it, because there's definitely going to be some sort of handshake there from third parties. Let's say that you did do this type of collaboration. Maybe you're Tesla and you just opened your superchargers to all of their EVs. Well, when they do the handshake, maybe Tesla is going to be able to grab some of that data, some of that charging data. Oh, and that's what they want.
Apparently, they said
yes,
it's free. They charge for the electricity, but they don't have like a fee.
They don't have an extra fee to charge their EVs at Tesla Supercharger, but they do collect data. Everybody collects data nowadays. There's nobody that does not collect data. Unless you have like a typewriter, your data is going to be collected. If you're on the internet, your data is going to be collected. So I think that rounds up the data sharing with third parties. Yeah, we're good.
Everything,
okay, thank you. So let's move on to hacking. Yeah. Hacking. Well, with all of this data being all over the place, in your car, in your app, maybe, shared with other third parties that you don't know of. When I was doing this research, I found out that Home Depot and Facebook were sharing data for some reason. I was like, what's the correlation there? I know, it's crazy. So if you go down that rabbit hole, you might never come back. I'm Piper, and this podcast is called While You Wait for Your Electric Car to Charge. You listen to the podcast. That way, you get more information about anything related to electric vehicles, but also just the future of vehicles in general. So we talk about anything from spying, data, from tire pressure, anything related to electric vehicles. Right now, how smart cars are spying on us.
I think if I'm a big boss and I want to be a friend, Home Depot would be my friend.
Home Depot would be your friend, right?
I want everything free,
You want everything free in Home Depot.
I want to go into a Home Depot.
Everybody wants everything free in Home Depot because Home Depot has everything you need to do DIY. It's a guy paradise. It's true. The Home Depot.
I understand why Zuckerberg make a deal with them.
Okay, so Zuckerberg make a deal with Home Depot to get free Makita products.
Exactly that.
That makes sense. It makes sense. It's a good deal. Or just a little rebate. 10% off. Employee discount. Something like that.
I want that. Home Depot, the best store ever.
Best store ever. I know, okay. So in Canada and the US, there is the Home Depot anyway. So it's very like North American. Hacking your data. Now that we have all this data, well, what can happen? I live at Home Depot. That's from Chris. So see, we have other Home Depot. We have other Home Depot fanatics here. Like every other band, you want that Home Depot card.
I've never been to Home Depot. Maybe twice in my life.
You've been only twice in your life?
Maybe, yeah.
Can you clarify that you are a woman?
I am.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah, this might be why. Don't worry. How many times have you been to Sephora though?
I was there yesterday.
Okay, so see? The Home Depot is the Sephora of men.
Oh, I see. I see.
That makes sense, right?
That makes a lot of sense now. Yeah.
This is amazing. Now,
We don't even lose people.
No, we're not losing people by talking about Home Depot. And you know that they should be the EV chargers at the Home Depot because guys take so long there that you can actually like charge your electric vehicle and listen to the podcast while you wait.
We need to find EV charging at home.
Because we did in Quebec. Remember the Volt?
Yeah.
That was charged at the Home Depot. Well, we need to find a Home Depot with a charger. That way we can do like all of that. Your data can be hacked. That's the thing. If the data is there and you're sharing it and you don't have kind of access or full control on it, well, it can be hacked by somebody, by a company. I mean, sometimes it can be leaked. There are some data breaches and some privacy leakage.
Wait.
Yes.
I have to answer this comment.
Okay.
It's like Chris Pankage. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it talk about Sephora. He's like, it's a chick store. They sell jewelry. They do not sell jewelry.
There's
they
no
sell
jewelry.
makeup and skincare and like perfume.
That's how much Chris
I really
does
wanted
not
to.
know.
I really wanted to correct that.
Thank you for input, Sai. We
No
need
worries.
we need to clean the slate. Yes, there is no. It's makeup. Sephora has makeup creams. I mean, they have some shampoo, but it's kind of like here and there, right? Yeah. You can also get yourself like made over there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can do that.
So
too.
they can literally make you over.
Ugly and I'm gonna
They can do that. They can sit you in a chair and just like make you up, kind of.
and if it's a drag queen.
There's a whole bunch. Yeah, it's very LGBTQAI plus friendly.
Yeah, it's for all genders.
It's for all genders, even non-genders. Yeah, there's everything there. Chris, seriously, everything and everybody. This is great. Now, all of these AIs, so the AIs also might have access to your information. So who's gonna hack you? Okay, it's always gonna be a person. So far, it's a person. Yet AIs have not taken over the world yet. Maybe later, but we're not right now. That being said, you can use AIs to create these malware, and then you could steal the data. In that sense. And this data can be a bit sensitive. Yeah, we're not just talking about like how high you like your windshield wipers to go when it rains. I know, like, I'm a girl, I like them to go really fast. I figured that most guys, they don't mind rain that much. Like, it's very slow. They don't need that fast. Okay, let's do a windshield wiper poll.
Do rain bother you when you drive?
Does rain
a certain extreme.
Does rain bother
I want to know that.
you when you drive? We're going to say meaning,
Medium, low.
meaning what speed wipers?
Speed.
What's the speed of your wipers?
I want to know that.
Okay, we're going to add a little bit of music. What's the speed of your
Wiper. When it's medium rain.
Okay. Does medium... Okay, so speed, what we put as speed? So we put low,
Low, medium, high.
medium,
And medium rain.
high.
I want that.
Yeah, the poll is on. I want to see this because quite frankly, I mean, like Chris says slow even in hurricanes. I know it's a guy thing. For me, I tend to focus on the rain for some reason, so I need to not be there. But it is said that women have a vision that is closer and men have a vision that is further because of like gathering and all that. But I mean, it has been disproven, so maybe that's just me. It has been disproven. It was not a real thing. For hunter-gatherers, do you know about this, Sai? It's
What?
so. The thing would be that since women were supposed to be more gatherers, they can see from closer, and since men were more hunters, they can see further away. Because of evolution.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It does make sense, but then they found some actual like real bones, and the women were as muscular as men, meaning that they think that they would have actually went hunting as much as men, even in the early beginning.
Yeah, I could see that. There's evidence for that, I think, at that time.
That makes sense
Yeah,
too.
that is-
So maybe women were hunters as well as men. We don't know. We weren't there. So let's just concentrate on what we got here. Hacking of your actual data. All of this like security sensitive data, the AIs, the cyber attacks, your car could be taken over, people. This could happen. Now, before we go into like the takeover, we have a little poll going on.
Medium is winning.
So far, medium. So if it's medium rain, people put their wipers at medium. Okay, so it's pretty normal. Okay, I haven't have a new theory about this. Okay, let's go into take control of the car. So Sai, you like kind of brought that up. So you could actually be hacked and then the car could be taken control
Yeah,
of.
there's several ways. Like they can install malware on your system, and like if you're going somewhere and the car doesn't listen to you, it just takes you somewhere else. It doesn't follow your direction. That's like a super scary thought. You're essentially kidnapping yourself on the command of the kidnapper. Like you're taking yourself to them, right? So
Yes.
that is like super scary. to
That
think
is
about.
super scary. And so these people, these bad people, really bad people, they could take over your car and then will decide to bring you somewhere. Now, of course, they could also take over all the cars and decide to bring them all somewhere. That would be like way better. Like, why would you just do it for one person, right, Sai? You would do it for like a whole community, right?
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, we're taking all of Vancouver and we're making sure that most cars are getting hacked. And you put them at lights and things to like block traffic.
Yeah, create real chaos, piss people off. Yeah.
It's definitely the first people to do that are gonna be Greenpeace. They're really good at that stuff.
We should like send Tesla in Ukraine when the Russian comes
Oh,
in,
yeah.
close the door.
It's true.
Free car, free Uber. When they're inside, you'll have that car.
Okay, so we could use Tesla cars, send them to Russia,
Yeah.
and then
Uber.
it's free Uber,
Trap.
and then it's a trap. So you're kind of trapping people in the car to kind of just
With free Uber.
with free Ubers.
It's like free candy.
It's like free candy to get criminals. So it's the reverse. It's the reverse.
Reverse.
Chris Pankage says that scene was just in a movie. The Teslas all were running into each other. Forgot the name. Oh, cool. Okay, so we're not the first ones to have that idea. That means it's there. It's the-
Easy call.
Because Scorsese called us. Okay, so it could compromise your personal privacy, meaning this data could be shared with people you don't want your data to have. Like that could happen and could compromise your personal safety, meaning that all of this data that is in your car or shared with Tesla or whatever your car manufacturer is, it could go into the wrong hands of people who might want to hurt you in that sense. Plus, yes.
The movie name I think is Leave the World Behind.
Okay.
I think so. He can tell if it's
Okay,
right or
okay,
wrong.
leave the world behind. And that would be all the Tesla rebelling each other.
What is that?
Is it a B-series movie or is it like a real
No,
movie?
it's a Netflix movie.
It's a Netflix movie?
Yeah.
So it's a real movie?
Yeah, it's a real movie.
Ooh. Okay, thank you. We have, movie Leave the World Behind. Exactly that. You're a good researcher. Yeah. Okay. Before I forget, there is a YouTube video of a Tesla with a Gatling gun. What is a Gatling gun?
It's the gun that.
Oh yeah, okay, it's Rambo. It's Rambo went EV. That's what's happening. Oh, this is cool. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's good to know. Here, there is no charger for EV cars at Home Depot. That's really sad for you, Richard Heckley. We're sorry to hear that. We need to find a supercharger or just a charger at an Home Depot so we can really grab a whole bunch of like new subscribers. I mean, we're gonna grab them. Sometimes at Home Depot they do like hot dogs and things like that. So maybe we could give free hot dogs that day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we are now at the last point, and that is the lack of consent and control over your very own personal data. I mean, we're gonna go quickly over the subject because it kind of already, we talked about it within all of these other realms. Well, that being said, not many people are fully informed about how their data is being used. And some of the lingo they use, to like, if you read the terms and conditions, if you read all of these like fine prints and things like that, you won't maybe even understand it unless you're a really intense lawyer or unless maybe you put it through ChatGPT and you ask it to kind of translate it for you. So even though you might be informed, it doesn't mean that this data is going to go where you want it to go. And that is why, well, there's sort of gray areas in there because things are changing, things are evolving rapidly. You have newer cars with better systems and with more data, more technology. And that being said, well, sometimes the law is a bit slow to adapt to that. So the companies, of course, are trying to, well, safeguard themselves as much as possible with all of the data and keep as much as they can to, yes, make money, be sufficient, but also they have morality depending on their branding and these things like that they don't want to necessarily use this data in a way that could offend the public. And so, well, Sai and I, we talked a little bit about gray area. So what, do you have information about like this gray area or the lack of consent and control with these cars?
Again, I think it's all about, because sometimes you need to give, if you're talking permissions, or you do need to give permission to an extent to these companies so they can upgrade and have right updates to serve you better according to your needs. But again, there's a gray area, right? Like if you sign something, is it saying exactly that's it, that's all we're going to use for? There's always a language that's used is kind of vague for a common person, normal person like myself to be like, oh, it's fine, like whatever. But what you're actually doing is like sharing more information with other people that you don't necessarily want to do.
Exactly, because you don't know who's actually going to be on the receiving end of this data. Now, it might be Tesla, yes, but it might be one car company who's actually associated to another company, and so this gets very, very big in like, well, yeah, lawyer language. Exactly, most commoners don't speak it, of course not, unless you've gone to law school. So who really reads all of that? And like Sai said earlier, there's not really any opt-out. Like we're starting to get that, but with newer vehicles, it's not like you can buy a new vehicle and say, you know what, just like take away all of this like super cool tech. Like don't put it there. Don't put the line assist.
Like when you bought a car back in the days, I don't want a radio.
Yeah, like when you...
The radio, I don't want, I've done this.
Exactly. When you bought a car a few years back, you could actually tell them, remove the radio, I don't want it.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's like these specs that you could remove.
You mean when the old cars had those?
Yeah, the radio, like literally like a radio, like the ones you saw in movies with buttons.
Oh yeah, the one in the movies.
Stolen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If you watch 80s movies.
Oh, I haven't, but I will.
And they turn off the radio, so you can remove that, and people would upgrade those too. It would just be like a little box. Yeah, exactly. So if you wanted the radio, it was an add-on. So you could have it removed. It's a bit like if you want AC or you don't want AC. But the AC, they can't really remove it. Usually the car already comes with it or not. But some of these features back in the day, yeah, they would just remove the radio for you. It was quite easy to do in that sense. But now if you go to the dealership and you say, you know what, I don't want the GPS, it's kind of already in the car. And you say, I don't want the radio, you can't really take the radio out of the car.
My father didn't want the radio.
Exactly.
He says like, no, we cannot remove the radio anymore.
Exactly. Your father didn't want the radio because we're talking about somebody who's close to 80 years old. So he's like, I don't want the radio. And the people at the garage were like, sir, we can't remove the radio. It's not possible. It comes with. It's like it's in there. Just don't turn it on. It's not gonna turn on itself, but it's just we can't take it away. I mean,
no, those years are gone.
Oh, Chris Pankage is giving Sai some good movies to watch. License to Drive should be your first 80s driving movie.
Is that a James Bond movie?
It's a
No, that's License to Kill.
Oh, that's the same movie.
Not the same.
Same but different. Same but different. I mean,
Just a
license
little
to
bit of
drive, a
difference.
license to
Little
kill.
bit of difference, yeah.
I mean, depends. So you can't really opt out of any of the features of a newer car. It's not possible. Maybe it will be possible later. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you will be able to buy a smart car that's not really smart.
Can I have a dumb car?
Can I have a dumb car, please? Well, or that might be why some people are going to choose to stick with very older cars. Yeah, in that sense, older models that don't have any features, much like some grandmas that never go on the internet. They're kind of scared of it. They don't want cell phones. They still have landlines. They did not upgrade. It's not for them. Of course, when they die, that's going to die with them. And the newer generation is just going to go with what is happening in their environment. But that being said, there's something you need to think about. Are we going to get at one point to this stage where technology is, well, so software oriented that you can't really take anything away from it? Maybe on your iPhone, yes, you can choose not to have TikTok on there because it's an application. And you can delete a few apps. If you don't want pages, just delete it. But it still comes with the iPhone. I mean, if you want to re-upload it, it's still going to be there. It's there. I like my stupid car. That's from Michael Luders. Yeah, well, this is just, there's smart cars.
I like my stupid car, or I like my car stupid.
Oh, I like my car stupid, or one refers to some other people out there.
I like my wife.
I like my wife.
Stupid wife does the same.
Same, but different. It depends where you put the word and how much of a space you put between. Still, both are not good. How smart cars are spying on you. So we went over a few things here. We went over the fact that your smart car is actually collecting data and it is storing it. Sometimes it stores it within the car. Other times it's going to sync it to the cloud or to your manufacturer via an application or something else. Location tracking. Now your car usually is wrapped in tinfoil. You wrap your car in tinfoil, that way it cannot be probed. It's fine. It's not, yeah. Good luck with that, gold maker. 89. A big foil. A huge foil. You just foil it up. You foil it up. Yeah. How much do you think it's going to cost in foil? Sorry.
If we do free.
Should be free foil?
Should be free.
We get probed.
Rio Tinto Alcan should sponsor this. Call us. We're gonna foil our car, our Tesla Model X, especially when we're gonna go to Area 51. We're gonna need to foil the car. That's what's good. We need to foil the car. So subject number 2 was location tracking. All of these sensors, all of this technology that allows the car to drive itself. Well, it's also tracking everything that's happening in and out of the car. Yes, you inside of it too. How you drive, when you drive, all of these data is being collected on you. What happens with this data? That's number 3, data sharing with third parties. You did sign up to share it with your car manufacturer because you bought that car. So you decided, you made a choice. Now, if you did not read the fine print, now that's kind of your fault. But in that sense, well, maybe the company you bought your car from is deciding to share these data with third parties that you don't know of. So you need to think about all of this.
They will know if you go to Home Depot.
They will know when you go to the Home Depot. They will. There's poor man's Faraday cage. Just tinfoil. Tinfoil. Aluminum is not magnetic, people. If you know your way through the electronics and the software in your car, you can disable some of them. Well, that's good to know, Trevor Turek. Thank you very much for the insight. So you could disable some of them. That's interesting.
Or disable your brake.
Or disable, yeah. Just disable everything. Yeah, disable, yeah. Okay, that's pretty good.
Disable the right thing.
Yeah, I would not touch that. I'm not sure. The way the new cars are, no, it's not like you can go underneath the hood and just move things. You really need to be connected to a computer. Yeah, I'm gonna remove this command line. So when I'm on the highway, the brakes don't work anymore. I mean, this is great. Hacking. Hacking was our 4th point. With cyber attacks, AI, people being able to possibly take over your vehicle. And all of this data, your personal private data, but also, well, any data of the passengers that were with you in the car, all of that being stolen to to cyber attack people, bad people. Now it's not yet the computers that are doing it. It's just people are using AIs to do these malware and infect your car and maybe take control of it. Like some people said, it is a movie already on Netflix, if you want to see it. And then lack of consent and control, meaning that, well, are you really fully informed about everything that is happening with your car, your data, and how is it going to affect you long term? That might be why some people are choosing to keep their older vehicles. Okay, it's now time to like free for all in the comment section. Yeah, drop us a comment because this is Piper and
Sai.
And we are here to entertain you and educate you on everything and anything electric vehicle related when you are waiting. That's why the podcast is called While You Wait for your electric car to charge. Now, you can find this podcast anywhere on YouTube on our channel. It's called While You Wait, the podcast. Just search for it on our YouTube page. Our YouTube page is called Two Girls, One Electric Car. It's time to make some sparks. Disable the driver. Well, you don't want to do that, Trevor Turek. You don't want to do that. Electric Brian, you can charge for free at the Hyundai on 2395 Boundary Road in Vancouver and walk 10 minutes to the Home Depot. Yeah, that's the best I've found. Could be better options. Yeah, but
Hyundai will let.
I don't think Hyundai will let our Tesla charge. There's a bit of like a rivalry there.
Maybe we should go to Mercedes.
Maybe we should go to Mercedes, you think?
Yeah, it's better.
Hello, can we charge here? I mean, they could allow it or not. I don't know. I mean, if you don't have that car, you should go to Tesla to charge your Tesla. I don't think they will like that. It's an open level 2, open to anyone. Oh.
We need to go.
So we need to go and review this. Okay, great. I'm going to copy paste this. Thank you very much, Electric Brian, for this information. Oh, yeah. I'm copy pasting. I'm copy pasting.
Chris says with an adapter we can. Yes, but 8.
What?
8. It says because with an adapter we can.
What adapter? What are we talking about?
It's the adapter for level 2 charge. But the people that work at Hyundai, look at us.
Exactly. It's not about it's
not the adapter.
It's not the adapter the problem. It's we drive a Tesla. And so maybe they're gonna be like, you can't park here because you don't have a Hyundai. You don't have the right car. Yeah. It's like crashing somebody else's wedding. That's exactly it. It's not a Hyundai charger, it's a public charger. Perfect.
Okay, it's a public charger.
So Electric Brian says J1772 to NACS. Okay, so NACS, that is the Tesla plug, and then the G like John one, the John one, that is all of the other ones usually. So NACS is North American kind of charging standard for some reason. But there's a difference in chargers, in plugs, yes. But nowadays, we have adapters. Even at some Tesla superchargers, they have these adapters that are already there. Because they've been opening up new charging stations to other EVs that are not only Tesla, you can find those in there. If not, just buy an adapter. I already have an adapter. I mean, we did a short video on that, and it's unstealable. If you didn't know this, the Tesla adapter is unstealable. It locks. It locks. So somebody can take like the actual power plug and plug it somewhere else, but your charger will stay locked into, well, the plug area, like the hole, until you unlock it from your screen in your car. Okay, now our Hyundai dealer charges Chevys. Ooh, yeah, so we're seeing like a little bit of free love here. All right, this is happening. This is interracial, like of electric vehicle. Ooh, that's interesting. Meaning that maybe, just maybe, there's less rivalry, that word.
Rivalry.
Yes, thank you, Sai. That is happening within the electric vehicle community because we all need to charge. There are charge points units. Okay, perfect. At Hyundai. Right. So now we have something to do. We have somewhere to go and to test this, right, Sai? Are you excited about this?
Super excited.
Going on road trips?
Yeah, and finally seeing a charging station.
Because Sai has never seen a charging station. Sai is all new to this. Sai doesn't have a driver's license.
No, I don't drive.
It's okay. You don't need to drive. You're gonna be like taking pictures, doing some researches,
Yes.
and all of that. So it's gonna be fine. She's gonna be like in the mobile office from mobile officing, meaning this is perfect. Plus, unfortunately, I did check, and my Tesla Model X 2016 does not have FSD features. It is impossible because it needed to have a hardware on it. So I think that the actual FSD started in 2017. And so I do have a friend who has it, but it will be impossible for me to add the FSD to my Tesla Model X. Even though, I mean, I could, but it's illegal here in British Columbia at this time to drive with the full self-drive. So I'm not gonna do that. Chris Pankage says that's why Sai needs to see the movie license to drive because she doesn't have a driver's license. Okay.
So I see what I'm missing out on.
Oh.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. It will convince me.
Maybe the person there doesn't have a driver's license either.
Maybe the way they drive. That's why they need a license to drive.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Well, we'll uncover this. We'll uncover this maybe in a fast forward way, or we'll just ask ChatGPT what this movie is about. It's gonna depend. But thank you so much, Chris, for everything you've been saying. I'm Piper, and my researcher,
Sai.
Okay, and we are on the podcast While You Wait to charge your electric vehicle. Make sure that you listen to us whenever you're charging. You want to think about us, and go on our YouTube channel, 2 Girls, 1 Electric Car. Click that playlist and go over all of the subjects. We have really interesting podcasts that are there, just waiting to be listened to, and they will spark some discussions at your next party. All right, have a good one, and be there at 12 p.m. next time. With data, I think I should be fine. I don't see why somebody would want to hack me. I don't know what they would find, like more